Well, Philippe, how much are you looking forward to another European night at Ibrox, having already experienced a couple?
No, I'm looking a lot forward to that. Also, I hear that the stadium could have been sold 3 times. So the fans are really excited to watch this game. We didn't expect this because of the early hour that we have to play. So it's for people even more difficult to get to the stadium in time. But still, there's so much excitement around that. So I'm really happy about that. And secondly, it's a terrific challenge for my team, for my squad, for players to gain experience. And I want that they take the level of these European games into the league and into our cup run also. So those are really interesting games to play against best players in Europe. You have 2 World Cup winners there with Benfica, and you have a few really young talents like Neves who will become one of the best midfielders in Europe. So it's an exciting game to play.
How are your players feeling, Philippe? Because you've had so many injuries to deal with, and it feels like you've not had many options. You've had to keep on picking the same players over and over again.
No, it's not really true. Defensive-wise, yes. Offensively, we've changed a lot, and we had to change a lot also, and make a rotation. So it's in a good way that our defensive players are used to doing that. Or with John Suter, who became more robust than in the past. For Ritwan, is also the first time, but for example, for Tav, for Connor, for Lunny, they're more used to that. So that's been important to keep stability in the team. And we're working really hard to get everybody towards that level. But in a way, it's also normal for players where it's the first time in their life that they play every 3 days, that the body and the mind needs to adapt to that rhythm.
What you do have, I'm sure, is lots of belief right now. I'm sure you'd have watched back the game in Lisbon, those 90 minutes. Did that give you so much optimism, that performance?
No, it gives a really good feeling, but because my team did a really good game there. And it's a pity that we get a penalty against, who should not be a penalty, because if the ball hits your head first and then your arm, it's not a penalty. So those circumstances were not on our side. So we played a really interesting game there, and we want to play an even better game tomorrow. And we're going to need that also to qualify, I think.
You've already mentioned the talent in the Benfica squad. Given that, Philippe, are you a little bit surprised with some of their recent struggles domestically?
No, because I know that league, and I don't know if you watched Arsenal Porto yesterday. So if you know how many points Porto are behind Benfica now in the league, that says something about that league also, and it's a really hard one. And it's also hard for a lot of teams to make the combination with League, Cup, Europe every 3 days to perform every time at a high standard. So you need a lot of consistency. So it looks easy to do that, but it's not that easy, that I know.
You mentioned the early kickoff. I'm sure setting the tone early in this match is going to be so important for the fans, for the players as well. Do you agree, to get the fans right behind you from the off?
No, they will be right behind us from the warm-up. That I know. And we're going to do everything to win that game, of course. And we want to start hard, but Benfica wants to start hard also. So it's like in a box game, who gives the first punch, that you can never know before. But I know the fans will be 90, 120 minutes or longer behind us all the time. So that gives also a lot of power and confidence to the team.
I'm sure when you look around the players in your dressing room as well, you see lots of experience there. Do you see characters who always ensure that standards are high?
Yes, of course. I talked about them already in the interview with Jack Butland, with Tav, with Connor Goldson, with Lunny. They are all players who are like my assistants on the pitch to help with the story and to keep control of the story in the moment when the storm is going on and it's more difficult for the younger players around them. So that's a really crucial thing, yes.
Can I just ask, how impressed have you been with the captain, his leadership skills, his abilities? What's he shown you since you've arrived at the club?
A lot of things. He was also the first person I talked with in the club the first day I came. to see where the fire was burning or the different fires were burning, that we could solve that quickly. He was really open and honest about that, about the club, about the squad, about the dressing room, about himself also, and being critical about that. So that was a very good and honest, open first talk, and that's been crucial also to step into a building in a moment that things were not going well, but to really know which buttons to push to change things. And in that way, the four of them have been really influential. And another thing that's really positive, you have sometimes that you have 4 or 5 senior players who are influential, but they don't come along that much or that good because they all want to be the main guy. And that's also not the case with the four of them. So they're really good unity also together. And because of that, we have a really good dressing room for the moment.
I don't know if you know the stats on James, but he's about to make his 82nd European appearance, which is second on the all-time list. He's also 1 goal in European terms behind Ali McCoist. As a right back, that's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing. All his statistics also in the league, scoring more than 120 goals for Rangers. So no, he has incredible stats. And he's also somebody who puts the standards high every day in training, and that's also a really important thing.
I know this is a huge game for you. It's maybe a measuring stick as well for the football club, but do you dare to look ahead, Philippe? Do you dare to dream?
I don't think it's a measuring stick because we know they have a much higher budget. They have some World Cup winners in their squad. We need to show our best face and what we did in Lisbon, and it could have been better with a better decision of the referees. So we're gonna try to push the luck to our side also in this home game, and learn out of that also in the things we do well, in the things we do less good, and then continue working on that the next couple of months in the league, in the cup, and hopefully also in Europe. We will see.